Welcome back to Tech Today. I'm your host Ayush Alavadi. Now, we've been testing the latest gadgets and EVs and telling you all about what's happening in the social media world. But something we want to really touch upon is the genesis of this show was to really break the clutter and to ensure that we make tech content credible again. In an age of YouTube and Instagram, there's so many creators out there putting out some lovely content, but the one thing we really lack here in India especially is transparency and accountability. Is it an editorial review? Is it a paid partnership? What do you, the consumer, think of it? Are you being misled? The government understands these things as well. So does the Advertising Standard Council of India. And they've issued a set of guidelines which should be adhered to when we are posting content on social media. But what does the creator community think? Also, let's try to understand and break down these guidelines for you on Tech Today. Here's a Tech Today special report.
In a bid to ensure consumer safety, the Government of India has now issued a set of guidelines for content creators and influencers on the internet. This, of course, is to protect the viewers and consumers from falling prey to any misleading ad and to make information extra clear between the content creator and the audience. This comes almost 2 years after the Advertising Standard Council of India released a set of guidelines. So what changes now? Well, now it only gets more detailed. He spoke to some creators to understand their thoughts about the guidelines and how it affects their process of content creation. Now, more than just using hashtags, the creators have to mention that their content is sponsored in the picture and the video itself than just in the caption.
But the fact that the new guideline has come out where you need to put it in the video for a certain amount of time where people can actually read does not make much of a difference, honestly, because you're anyways putting the label, paid partnership label, in your bio out there, plus you're putting an ad. So people already know that it is an advertisement and you're getting paid for it. And now on Instagram, it's become such a common thing that when you start talking, only your audience knows it's going to be an advertisement and not like a original organic video of yourself.
I think as influencers, there's one new influencer coming up every minute, I'd say actually. As an influencer, if you want to survive, consumers' trust is number one, and you can only get trust when you're transparent. So actually being transparent, doing all the disclosures properly will help you be a better creator, better influencer, and survive in the long run and differentiate yourself. So I feel it's very important, and especially because there's a lot of misinformation which is there, and being from the finance sector, it's even the gravity of the decisions that are being made are very heavy. So these guidelines are important so that people's interests are safeguarded.
With great power comes great responsibility. You have to make sure that the information that you convey to the viewer, to the buyer, to the genuine buyer, is accurate. So there are a lot of times when I talk about the property and I do the tour, there are certain times where I forget to describe the property or certain things about the property. I prefer to put all the details in the description, and in most of my videos, I do mention that, all the details are in the description. So authenticity, integrity is what was mentioned out there. In fact, I just made a story about the same thing. Authenticity, transparency, integrity are the things that are very important when you are talking about real estate in my field. And I think ASCI also is aligned to the same thought pattern.
Have you seen a number of rise in any platform or any influencing trajectory, if we may call it that way, after the guidelines were introduced? And with this influencer summit today, what are we trying to achieve?
So I think in general, there is obviously much more digital advertising happening, and the platforms are becoming more active and influencers are becoming more active, because we do feel that this is going to shape advertising in the future in a very, very big way. So more than I would say, has it gone up or down because the guidelines are very recent? I think what we can say is that just at an anecdotal basis, we are seeing a lot more influencers who are compliant. We are seeing the hashtags being being used. We are seeing the paid partnership tags being used. So I think that's a great step, and we are definitely seeing more platforms also bringing in disclosure labels so that there is a native way to kind of disclose your material connection. So I think influencers are taking this whole thing, I feel, in a really good way, in a very positive way, and using disclosure, not with any kind of pressure, but I think as a voluntary choice that they are making, and I think that is really, really great news.
So be it the internet stars like Bhuvan Bam and Prajakta Kohli to OG influencers like Virat Kohli and Shah Rukh Khan, all of them now come under the purview of these guidelines. But what do you think about it? Do you get easily influenced through the internet, and would these guidelines help you differentiate better? Do let us know in the comments.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.